back to the channel, and welcome to hopefully a new segment we're going to be doing every week, the pull list. This is where I'm just going to go over the things I picked up on comic book day on my pull list, the stuff that I'm reading, and yeah, just give you guys an idea of the comics that I'm looking into. I haven't done enough comic book content on this channel, which is something I want to do more of. So this is something I'm hopefully we're going to do every week. So give me 1 second. I'm going to take a drink here. Let's get into it. Okay, so first up, we got the final issue of Doomsday Clock. Man, I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to have to go back. And this book is so freaking late. I'm going to have to go back and reread the whole series just to know what the hell's going on. To give you guys an idea of, Doomsday Clock. To give you an idea of when this thing started in November 22nd of 2017. And it's a 12-issue series. So it was supposed to finish, I believe, December of 2018. It is now December of 2019. This thing is over a year late. This thing has just been late to death. So, but I understand. Hey, what's up, John? This is just, I'm just going over the stuff that I picked up, man. The comics I pick up every week. It's just a new segment I'm going to do. It's more content. And a second here. Paste that. There you go. If you're so inclined, if you want to come in and jaw at me about this, sir, but I'm just going to go over the stuff that I picked up this week. But yeah, like I said, I'm a big fan of. I like Jeff Johns. I really like Gary Frank's artwork. But yeah, man, this thing is like it's convoluted as hell, and I'm gonna have to go back and reread the whole thing just to understand what the hell's going on here. And then I'll probably do a synopsis for the entire series. But that's actually something I've been waiting to do. I wanted to do, like a synopsis and a rundown of this whole story. This damn comic took 3 years to finish, just almost 3 years to finish, just to give you an idea. So, wow. Anyway, so that was what I picked up. That's one thing I picked up. I also picked up, and some of these comics are actually from last week, because I only pick up my comics every 2 weeks. I got Sean Gordon Murphy's Batman Curse of the White Knight. This is issue 5. This is the Batgirl issue. I really like this series. I know some people are kind of up in the air about it. I really, really like this book, though. I'm also a big fan of Sean Gordon Murphy. I just like the guy. His art's great. And if you're not picking up this series, I would definitely recommend going back and reading The White Knight if you haven't. It's a really great, it's almost kind of an Elseworlds. It is actually an Elseworlds story about Batman and the Joker. But yeah, I like this book. It's not, full disclosure, Curse of the White Knight is not as good as White Knight. It's still a pretty good book, man. I really like it. I dig it. So we picked that up. Sticking with DC, we also picked up Flash Forward issue 4. This is the new Wally West series that they're doing. It's artwork by Brett Booth, who Brett's one of those guys where you really like his art or you don't. I love his art, man. I've been a big fan of his all the way back when his Backlash days. And this series is for anybody who didn't pick up Heroes in Crisis. A lot of people, a lot of fans, including myself, were not happy with what they did to Wally West. They basically turned Wally West into a mass murderer. And it was not good. It was not good. This was more of Tom King basically just wrecking characters, especially Wally. Wally was Wally is like the hope of the DC universe, and he just broke him. He broke him, and that's a discussion we could go into just for hours about how they're mishandling a lot of our heroes and whatnot. But this book is basically DC's attempt at fixing that, because they're well aware of the fact that that the vast majority of fans were not happy. They were not happy with what happened. But yeah, it's this is Lobdell, however you pronounce his name. I'm probably wrecking his name, and if I am, I apologize. But yeah, man, this is I'm digging this book. I'm actually digging this book because it's Wally being a hero again, which is what he should be. And I know that there's a lot of people who argue about who is the true Flash. Is it Barry Allen? Is it Wally West? Wally has always been my personal favorite Flash. And the best storylines are the ones with Wally West. So ever since they brought Barry back, they've kind of mistreated Wally, and I really, really don't like it. But this is a cool book to pick up, even if you're not a Flash fan. Just the artwork alone is fantastic, man. I really love Brett Booth's work in this book. So yeah, highly recommend this one. And I think I got one more DC book. Yep. And actually, this is another series I'm gonna have to do a synopsis on, and this is Batman Last Night on Earth. This is Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. Greg Capullo, man, is, in my opinion, he's one of the best artists working today, man. I love this guy's friggin' work, and his run on Batman was fantastic. Scott Snyder was kind of the opposite of Tom King. Under Scott Snyder, Batman became like damn near invincible, which to a lot of people that really sucked. It's like he became contingency man. But this is another one of those kind of like Elseworld storylines where it takes place way in the future. There's all this creepy stuff going on, and it's almost like this dystopian future with like a clone of Batman. I'm trying to find a really good picture in here to show you guys just how good Greg Capullo's art is, man. I just love this guy. This book has actually been very subdued, I will say, as far as the way the art's been done. And I'm just trying to find a really good. Unlike a lot of his work, there's not a lot of splash pages in this book. Yeah, so it's not really. There's not going to be a really big crazy splash page. There was a couple of there have been a couple of really good ones, but yeah, right here we get a look at some of Greg's art, and the way he does faces. They're very expressive. I really like Greg Capullo's artwork. He was one of my favorite guys when he was doing Spawn. The stuff he did for Spawn 300 was really cool. But this was another one of those books where it's either like you really liked it or you really hated it. I approached this book more like it's an Elseworld storyline. There's no indication that this is the actual future. But yeah, this was a book. It's kind of interesting. I am going to have to do like a synopsis for this one now that it's done. So that was that. And then another book that I've been picking up that I've actually been very, very surprised at how much I've liked it is, again, it's another Brett Booth book. It's Bloodshot. It's the current Bloodshot run. And yeah, man, it's this story is actually growing on me. And once again, it's got some great artwork in it. Brett's one of those artists that if he's not careful, his work can get really messy and convoluted, and it's kind of hard to see things. It gets really busy, but in this book, so far that hasn't happened. But I'm gonna try. I'm looking to find like a really cool. Yeah, like this is a really cool page right here. You get this nice shot of Bloodshot here. But you see this bad guy here, like the detail work. I don't know if you guys can see that without because of the glare. But the detail work he puts in some of these bad guys and stuff, really cool stuff. Really cool stuff. I dig it. But I've actually been surprised at how good this storyline for this book has been. And trying to flip through this thing here a little bit. The only issue I have is that a lot of the books for Valiant, the pages are kind of cut short. The last like 5 or 6 pages are just a bunch of advertisements or something like that. Yeah. So that's 4 or 5. Yeah, like the last 5 pages are this advertisement. Excuse me. Advertisements for Quantum and Woody, and I'm like, yeah, I don't care about that, man. So don't put that in my book. Give me a couple extra pages for this of the actual storyline. But yeah, I'm actually digging this Bloodshot. I thought it was pretty cool. I think it's good. Again, I'm an artist guy. I shop with my eyes first. So Brett Booth, like I said, I've liked Brett Booth since all the way back to the Image Bloodshot day. Not Bloodshot, but the Image Backlash comic that he did. And then he did, obviously he did Wildcore. And like I said, some people don't like his art. They think it's too busy. They think it's over rendered. I dig it. I like it. So yeah, I recommend this series as well. And then because it's Christmas, the guy who runs my local LCS basically said you could pick one free comic from the back issues, and you pick it for free. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And being that I'm a fan of Art T. Bear, I actually found a copy of Cable #2. So you can put that up here so you guys can get a look at it. Some nice 80s and 90s style comic book art. A lot of muscles, a lot of shoulder pads, a lot of guns. This is when I think they were still using the 4-color. No, actually, you could see a little bit of like airbrushing going on in here. This was right when they were transitioning from the 4-color coloring style to the more modern style that they use today. But yeah, it still uses a lot of basic colors. Then you flip on the inside, and on the inside, they are definitely still using the 4-color comic style rendering. So this is when they were just beginning to transition to the more premium formats. You see some really nice 90s style Art T. Bear art there, baby. Lots of big guns, lots of big shoulder pads. And this is not newsprint paper. Don't believe me. Come on. Get. Separate you two. Separate. It might be. Actually, I mean, I'm trying to feel it here. No, I think this is like that. There was a type of paper they were using that they transitioned between. It was kind of a quality between newsprint and premium paper. It had a little bit more thickness and consistency than newsprint, but it didn't have that gloss that the premium stuff had. And if you look at this, there's no gloss on this. It's flat. I actually prefer this for my comics, believe it or not. I like that paper that was kind of that medium, that middle ground, kind of like the paper that they use for the comic Pit. If you ever get the first issue of Pit from Dale Keown, that paper style I think was probably the best that they could go with, because it was slightly it was stronger and thicker and more durable than newsprint, but it didn't have that gloss to it. And considering the style that Pitt was, man, Pitt was more of that visceral style. It just worked really well. But I actually prefer the matte finish paper to the gloss. But yeah, this was kind of cool, man. And one of these days, I'm gonna have to hook up with Art and figure out a way to send him some books so he can sign them for me, man. Because I got I've got almost everything, all the old stuff that he did where he did the interiors. And but yeah, it was a cool little gimme that my my local LCS owner did for us. So this was a nice little gesture. But I have a couple of other books that were meant to come in. They haven't come in. They're back issues from a couple of weeks ago that he ordered from me. One of them is the Stefan Sejic Harley Quinn series, which I'm not the biggest fan of Harley Quinn. I think she's super overexposed, but I know that because they've got the Birds of Prey movie that's coming out, that they're just pushing Harley Quinn and everything. She's super overexposed, I think, in my personal opinion. But the story that they're doing in that Stefan Sejic, actually, yeah, there's the last issue of Curse of the White Knight was the Alfred issue. Like, this was really cool. I really like this book, but I'm picking up that Harleen comic because, one, I love Stefan Sejic's artwork. I think, and I love the guy's sense of humor. I think he's also writing the book, which is awesome. He's one of those creators that I really, really like supporting because he just seems like a really, really nice guy. He's got a really quirky sense of humor, really funny. And this Harleen series is actually really interesting because it shows what's going on in her head as she changes from Dr. Harleen Quinzel into Harley Quinn. But it also shows how the Joker is just manipulating the crap out of her. So it makes the Joker come off really, really strong and really scary. So I like that series. I have to get I'm waiting on those books to come in. I guess there was some kind of an issue with them, but that's another one that's in my pull list. Hopefully I'll be able to do something on that here in the future. But yeah, that was it for this week's pull list, guys. Pretty short and sweet. Let me know in the comments what books you guys are picking up, man. Like anything that you think I would be interested in, given what I've shown you guys, and where my interests kind of go. Again, I am largely an art guy. I shop with my eyes first, and I will actually buy. Full disclosure, this is just me being honest. I'll buy a crappy comic if the artwork is awesome. Like I bought some of Marvel's Legacy stuff because one of my favorite artists was on it. Ken Rockefort was actually doing the Marvel, the Axel Alonso era, which is a pretty infamous era. He was doing the Ultimates, which was a very, it was a very legacy book. But I bought it because it had Ken's art in it, man. Because like Ken Rockefort is one of the best artists, like I said, going today, man. Everything that guy touches, I'm gonna pick up. But anyway, guys, thanks for being here. Everybody that sees this later, I appreciate all the views you guys give me. If you like this series, hit like, subscribe, drop me a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. So have a good day, everybody.